Good afternoon, Keller Williams. Katie and I are here to talk about some best practices when you're under a state of emergency in Little Rock. So, how fun is this for us? We keep getting asked the questions, are you still going to show homes? Are you still going to do open houses? And what we have sent to you guys today has been the CDC suggested practices and Q&A for agents in showing a home, hosting an open house, and then if you're telling your sellers what they need to do to take care of themselves. So one thing you want to do.
I'm going to be the client.
Katie's our client.
Show us what we need to do as the savvy realtor.
We're not doing any of this. We're staying 6 feet away. So we want to keep our distance.
Yes.
When you're going in a house, you want to make sure touch as little as possible. When showing a home, take sanitizer, hand sanitizer, and then also take wipes. And wipe as you go and do your best to keep everything as clean as possible. When you are a seller and you're doing an open house, nobody gets in that front door unless they sign in, because we cannot have anybody coming into any of our sellers' open houses without knowing a true phone number for them, a true name, and a true email. So if you do decide to do an open house, the first thing we recommend is calling your seller and asking them if they still want to have an open house. We've had several canceled today. And if they do want to do an open house, then you make sure and tell them they've got to have hand sanitizer and you've got to have wipes. And make sure and leave as many doors open as possible. And then once the showing is done and you're closing up open houses, you need to wipe down all the knobs you can. You need to wipe down all the light switches. Wipe your knobs. Wipe your railings as you're going in and out of the homes. So
anything you can think of that you've touched. And you had a good idea about the sign-in for the open house. Either switching pins, you signing in for them, or using a tablet that only you touch and you type it for them.
Yeah, we don't want you to have a pin in there that lays down and everybody picks up the pin.
And then somebody touches their face and...
There we go.
There we go
again.
Yeah.
If you do have a client, you are putting them in your car with a buyer and they're getting in your car, then you need to wipe your car down and you need to wipe your seatbelt down. And it is okay right now, according to the CDC and to the realtors, if somebody is showing signs of a virus, you know, as long as you treat everybody the same, you do have a right not to show them. Anything else you want to add?
You do have a right also not to put them in your car. So I think most of the time people will understand, you know, same thing with shaking hands, that sort of thing. You can kind of play it off as funny, like, let's bump elbows, you know, don't want to swap germs. So it can be fine. And they'll probably understand because they probably don't want to be around you that close either, right? In your car, because they don't have any idea how clean you are. And so just keep in mind where your hands are touching, and don't eat with your hands if you've touched things with your hands and can't necessarily clean them, because hopefully you can wash them with soap and water if that's available. However, say hand sanitizer and other things are low. So keep that in mind. Just think about what you're doing in case that isn't available. We want to talk about some housekeeping things. Is there anything else as far as best practices? I know we want to talk about leaning on technology. Working from home, using Zoom calls. Do you want to touch on that right now?
So what we're going to do is we're going to send you a couple of different videos so that we're going to make sure and stay in touch with you. Even though you may not be coming into the market center, we want to be able to stay in touch with you.
Right.
So we'll send out another email about what's going to happen at the market center and what it's going to look like with all the schools closed down, daycares closed down, and everything else. We are still going to be open. So we'll send out another email here in just a few minutes, and we're going to go over how we're going to do our calendar. All right, go sell. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.